Uh, Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today's topic is the soil composition. In the last video, we just listed all the major components of the soil. So today, we'll be discussing all of them in detail. So let's dive into them. Now, the major components of soil. The following are major components of soil are explained. The first one is the inorganic particles or the mineral particles. Now, these inorganic particles are mainly small pieces of rock and different kinds of minerals. The inorganic part of the soil was formed from the parent rock by the action of weathering. We've already discussed the concept of weathering. I can refer to my other video. Now, the size of inorganic particles of the soil has a big influence or great influence on the properties of the soil. Particles that are small in size have a larger surface area in which the chemical and the physical reactions can take place. For this reason, generally, the smaller the size of the soil particles, the more reactive is the soil. And when the soil is more reactive, it means that it contains more substances which can have a certain kind of potential, for example, to the plant's growth. So that's inorganic particles. Now, in addition to this, the size of the individual pore spaces, which are the spaces between the soil particles filled with water or air in any soil, depends to some extent of the size of the particles. Now, the size of the small particles, the smaller the size of the pore spaces. So this is all about the inorganic particles. The second one is organic matter. The organic matter present in the soil is formed from the remains of the plants and the animals. Now, these remains form humus when they are broken down. That is the process of the decomposition. Now, this humus consists of very small particles that have a very large surface area on which the chemical and the physical reactions can take place. How the humus, basically, this is the source of the mineral salts which are used by plants, and it is also a good binding agent for the soil particles. So that's all about today, organic matter. The third major component of soil is the living organisms. Now, the soil contains the living organisms of different sizes, which are microscopic, which can be this means that they are large and can be seen by naked eyes, and the microscopic, which are small organisms that cannot be seen by naked eyes. Now, these organisms are the ones that give life to the soil. They include members of all the animal in the plant kingdoms. These organisms have a very important influence on the physical and the chemical properties of the soil. Since, for example, maybe these insects, earthworms, bacteria, and fungi feed on the plant and the animal remains. Now, when they do this, the remains are broken down or decomposed, and the nutrients are released into the soil. Now, this process is what we call the mineralization. Also, the nutrient elements which are released in this way can then be absorbed by the plant roots and hence enable the growth of the plants. And also, these living organisms are also the ones that enable the formation of the humus. You see the other major component of the soil, that is soil water. Now, water dissolves the various substances like salts that are derived from the animal remains to form soil solution. Now, plant elements such as these calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and the nitrogen are water absorbed by plants from the soil solution. So basically, soil solution is important for the absorption process of the various nutrients needed by the plants. Now, the soil water therefore helps plants to absorb the mineral nutrients from the soil. The soil air. This is the other major component of the soil. Soil air is the mixture of gases such as carbon dioxide, oxygen, etc., etc. Generally, the soil air contains more carbon dioxide and more water vapor than the atmospheric air. Since the air in the soil occupies the four spaces, now the air, these these four spaces are the air spaces between the soil particles which are not occupied by water. Now, this means that a soil which contains a lot of water has a very little amount of air, and that contains a lot of air has a very little amount of water. So thank you guys for listening. I hope it's clear. We've uh, discussed all the major components of the soil in detail. I hope it's clear. We've discussed all of them. So see you in the other video.